Hi, I'm Jessie McLellan with the Lisa Abbott Team out of Oshawa, Ontario. Over the past few months, we've seen the market in the GTA cool down, as well as many other areas. A few months ago, you could throw a for sale sign on the lawn, and it really didn't matter as much the condition of the home, it would still generate a bidding war. Now that those times are in the past, people are having to get strategic again when it comes to selling their home. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a list of improvements and renovations that you can do to add to the value of your home. Some of these cost as little as $100, but can make a big difference when it comes time to sell. We'll start with the lowest cost improvements and work our way up to the highest cost renovations. But before I get any further and before you spend your time and money, if you plan on doing any of these improvements with the intention of selling, please speak to a realtor. Every market, home, neighborhood, and street is different, and you could very easily over-improve a home. Just because your cousin renovated his kitchen for $50,000 in his 5-bedroom detached home and it sold for a lot of money, doesn't always mean that you will see the same results in a 2-bedroom condo townhouse. It's very important to speak to a professional who has been through the process before and can pull relevant sales and information to help you make the best financial decision. If you would like to speak with myself or Lisa to talk about any renovations or changes you're thinking of making, I will include a link in the description where you can book a call and a time to chat and we can answer any questions you may have. Now let's get into it. There are 2 types of improvements you can make on your home. Upgrades that will improve your home's value and take it a step above the homes that you're competing with, and upgrades and changes that will bring your home up to par with the rest of the homes in the neighborhood. A quick example would be like upgrading your kitchen versus fixing a leaky roof. A kitchen will add value over the other homes, but fixing a leaky roof will really just put you on par. When we're looking at this list of improvements you can make to help add value, we're also trying to consider 2 things. The ideal buyer, so who's going to be interested in purchasing your home, and 2, what is the experience that they will have when they pull up to your home to when they go to leave. If your home has a kitchen and wallpaper straight out of the 1960s, it may not make sense for you to add something like a smart lock to your front door, because your ideal buyer is likely an investor or somebody who's looking for a blank canvas and is willing to put in the work to make it their own. On the other hand, if your home is modern and has upgrades but shows like an 8 out of 10, you think of what is that negative thing that sticks out to a potential buyer as they're walking through your home. Ask yourself, are you making the best possible first impression? Or is that first impression set back a bit because they saw stunning photos online, but when they pull up to the house, the porch looks really tired or like it needs some work? Or does your home look like a 10 out of 10 in photos, but doesn't show as well in person because their eyes are drawn to, say, a broken window or flooring that needs to be replaced? You only get one shot at a first impression. And once buyers are turned off or they feel like you've cut corners, they start to look past all of the money that you have spent and start to focus on the little things that they might have to fix. And they start deducting money off what they would want to pay. Most homes aren't perfect, but you want to get ahead of any potential problems because it's much easier to deal with them before your home hits the market than it is to deal with it after you've had 40 showings and the feedback's all the same thing. And now you've lost your chance with those buyers. There's nothing worse than putting all this time and money into renovations, painting, flooring, and staging, only to have the feedback come in and say, my buyers were turned off even before they entered the house. Or it looked great online, but there were lots of issues in person. Let's start with something easy and affordable that will help you out with first impressions and marketing your home. And that is curb appeal. Now, when I say curb appeal, I don't mean spending thousands and thousands of dollars on landscaping or fancy interlock. Unless you really want it for your own enjoyment and are willing to accept that you might just be gifting the next buyer with some free landscaping, that is probably not the place that you want to spend your money. What I would suggest though is keeping the front yard looking neat, edging the grass along your driveway, having your grass looking healthy and well maintained, and planting some flowers if you have a flower bed, assuming that you're not trying to sell in the winter. These are all little things that you can do before you have professional photos done and before you allow showings. The flowers will also add a little splash of color to the front of your home and make your home look nicer and cleaner than the other ones on your street. It's also going to help with marketing because who doesn't want to see what the inside of a super adorable house looks like? And it makes a great first impression on buyers when they pull up to your house and see a well-maintained and colorful yard. Now, as we move closer to the interior, the next thing is the front door. Now, if you have a well-maintained front yard with pretty flowers, why not have a beautiful front door as well? Painting your front door can make it look brand new again. And you can use a bold color that works with your property, like a red or a black. Painting the front door and improving your curb appeal can all be done for a relatively low cost, especially if you can do it yourself. And while the return on investment can be hard to put into an exact number, it will help drive more traffic to your home online, help to book more showings, and when people go to view your home in person, they won't automatically be deducting value even before they enter the home. Next up is smart home features. You may already have some of these and just need a few extras to complete the package, or like I mentioned in the beginning, it may make no sense for your specific home or your market. Depending on your budget and your home, this might not be your top priority, but turning your home into a smart home can be an attraction for potential buyers and can help set your home apart from the other ones on the market. It's also another thing that can be great for marketing your home, as you can now market it as a smart home. Some smart home features include a smart thermostat, smoke detectors, camera, doorbell, and locks. And their prices range from roughly $100 to $350, depending on what product you buy. When I walk through a home with buyers, they will almost always point out when there's a smart thermostat. It's an easy way to wow and get buyers excited right away. Another thing that buyers really tend to notice are light fixtures. Specifically, they notice the ones that are not in line with their taste or ones that look like they will need to be replaced because they're broken or dirty. Most buyers don't want to buy a home and immediately have to change light fixtures, especially because the thought of doing electrical work can be very intimidating. We will usually recommend that light fixtures are replaced with something consistent and neutral that will appeal to the vast majority of buyers and that are relatively inexpensive. At the very least, you don't want buyers to start to look around and be distracted by light fixtures. You want the overall first impression to be positive, and you want to keep them focused on all of the great things about your house that they won't have to do any work to move into and enjoy. The next tip can either be very helpful or it can make things worse for your home, and that is carpet cleaning. I'm sure some of you are thinking, how could carpet cleaning possibly make it worse? Well, if you have carpets that are in pretty good condition and you really just want to freshen them up before it hits the market, then I would say that's a great idea. But if you own dogs or cats, your carpets might be holding a lot of odor that you're not necessarily aware of. And it's one of those things where you don't think twice about it or to ask your realtor, because you wouldn't ask us whether you should wipe your counters down. But I've seen this happen several times, where someone goes to clean their carpet and it actually ends up bringing out a heavy pet smell or smoke smell. You walk into the house and it's like hitting a wall of smoke or wet dog. And they honestly would have been better off leaving it. And if the carpets are not in great condition, it might be worth spending a little bit of extra money and getting them replaced with something like a luxury vinyl or other type of flooring. But I'll touch on that in a minute. This is a good reminder to ask your realtor before you do things. We would much rather you give us a call and ask than see you make a mistake that could negatively impact your home's value. We are a great resource, so use us. We even have a hack to help seriously reduce the smell of smoke in a home. We find that a combination of cleaning, painting, and running an ozone machine and then letting that place air out really makes a huge difference. We used this combination in a home we had listed last year that had been smoked in for years, and this combination worked wonders. Now we move on to painting and or wallpaper removal. Wallpaper was wonderful and trendy once upon a time, and many of us have lived in homes with wallpaper in it. But right now, buyers view wallpaper as a negative and can deduct a lot of money off their offer because of the amount of work that goes into removing it. The removal process is labor intensive, which means that if they're not doing it themselves, it's also expensive. One important thing to remember throughout this video is that when buyers start a list of negatives, they keep looking for others, and the costs they associate with those negatives are often way over exaggerated. If the house needs a new AC unit that costs $5,000, then they're automatically thinking $10,000 off the purchase price. If the house needs new flooring in a room that would cost $2,500, they say $8,000. Or a new roof, take off $15,000, and the list goes on and on. So when buyers see wallpaper, especially a lot of it, they tend to deduct an unfair amount of value off of the home. So if you're in the position to remove the wallpaper and paint, that can really help your home feel much more modern and increase its value. Before I move on to the next one, if you found any of these tips helpful so far, please like and subscribe to our channel so that you won't miss videos. Now we move on to flooring. Like many of the things I've mentioned in this video, you have to take your whole house into consideration. Does it make sense to spend $5,000 on flooring if there are bigger issues in your home? Probably not. But if the only negative thing that a buyer could pick apart when walking through your home is a room that has carpet or laminate flooring that's past its prime, then it may be worth having new flooring installed. Flooring is also one of those things that pictures can hide the condition of. Potential buyers won't notice odors or defects as easily. They'll just see a really nice house, but then might be disappointed when they come to view it in person. And that's not the feeling you want people leaving with after they've just viewed your home. You also have to consider the other homes in your area and the price range. For many homes, a luxury vinyl would do just fine. It looks good, it feels good, it's durable and waterproof, and it's a great affordable option for most homes. But if your home is a $2.5 million stunner and the homes that you would be competing with all have high quality hardwood floors, that's something you need to take into consideration and speak to your realtor about as well. Now we move on to some of the bigger upgrades. The bathrooms. Bathrooms are one of the areas in your home that are usually worth upgrading. Depending on its size and what you need, it might not be that expensive to upgrade. But if buyers view a really nice home with a bathroom that needs to be upgraded, they're probably going to associate an unfair cost with that upgrade, and that will be reflected in their offer price. Your main floor and ensuite bathrooms should be prioritized over your smaller, say, basement bathroom. The next thing that I'm going to mention isn't an upgrade that stays with the house, but it's an investment that in nearly every situation produces a great return on investment, and that is staging. Professional and high quality staging produces the best return on investment by far. The cost usually ranges anywhere from $3,000 to $5,500. But it ultimately depends on your specific home and how much furniture and staging pieces the stager will need to bring in. $5,000 may sound like a lot of money to you, but take a look at these photos and let me know what you think. These pictures are from a home that sold for about $650,000. Would you not agree that the staged version of that house would sell for a lot more than $5,000 higher than the non-staged version? In our market, it's not uncommon to see a professionally staged home sell from $30,000 to $70,000 or more higher than a very similar unstaged home sold around the same time. Lisa and I use a company with professional interior designers for staging on our clients' homes. And we include staging in our selling packages because we know it makes such a difference on the final sale price. And I cannot stress this enough, but throwing a couple of pillows and a blanket on your couch and putting a fake plant on your kitchen counter is not professional staging. If someone hires Lisa and I to sell their house, we're there to sell their house. We don't stage the house ourselves because we're not professional interior designers. Just like you wouldn't want me doing your landscaping or putting a roof on your house. You don't want me or anyone but a professional staging your home. Now for the upgrade that will likely cost you the most money, but is often the heart of the home and a huge selling point for buyers. The kitchen. An upgraded kitchen can transform how a property is marketed and how it's viewed by buyers. People absolutely fall in love with kitchens, and the more people that you can get to fall in love with your home, the more offers and the more money you'll likely get for it. And it's not always about replacing the entire kitchen. Even small upgrades within the kitchen, like replacing old appliances with modern stainless steel ones, can add value to your home. Or even just painting cupboards and replacing hardware can give it a more modern look. I know I've said it a few times throughout this video, but please always consult your realtor on upgrades or anything you're planning on doing with hopes of it increasing your home's value, especially if you're getting ready to sell. They can guide you best on where the best places are to spend your money and let you know what's currently trending. If there's anything we missed or anything you think would make a great addition to this list, drop a comment below. And as always, you can click the link in the description if you want to chat with Lisa and myself. We're always happy to answer your questions about buying or selling a home. Click the like and subscribe button if you enjoy our videos, and I'll see you next week.